Hello everyone, this is Gregor, welcome to the stream. Hadn't actually realized that song was ending so abruptly, to be honest, but it's still one of my favorite horror themes, even though it doesn't sound very horror-ish. It's from Eternal Darkness, a game that I've already streamed and might do so again in the future. But for tonight we're gonna do something a bit similar in theme. Which is Call of Cthulhu. I'm probably gonna what's it called? I'm probably gonna pronounce it wrong on multiple occasions. Hey, Posh Hamster, welcome. Bedtime story. Well, I'm not actually sure if this is quite the bedtime story you would want. Although, to be honest, I don't also really know if this is actually a scary game, as it should be, since being a Call of Cthulhu game. Or if it might go the more jump-scary route. Or even not do any of those and just be an action game with, Eldritch Abominations. A lot of games do that nowadays, to be honest. I don't really care much for it. Lovecraftian horror. Yeah, but is it? Okay, global. Custom, maybe? Kind of want to see what I can mess around with here. So, I did mention that my RAM kind of got a bit effed up, so I'm not actually sure what I should be keeping on. I'm just going to go with high on everything for now. Probably not motion blur though. That's kind of the thing that I really don't like. And I'll probably increase the FOV a little bit and maybe put a frame limit to like 60. Not that that's probably going to be a problem. I don't know how intense the graphic settings are in this game, so yeah. We'll see. Kind of hoping the sound at least is not that weird. Keep the voices up, keep the effects a bit down. Kind of sucks that you have to apply settings for each one of these individually, but I really didn't want to go into the game before like setting things up, because there might have been some kind of spoiler there. So yeah, let's see. Chapter 1, Pierce Investigations Agency, Boston. Edward Pierce, veteran of the First World War, drowns his memories in liquor and sleeping pills. He is now a private detective who has trouble finding a case able to lift him from his torpor. Pierce must find a new case quickly or risk losing his license. Okay. Guess that's motivation sorted in one short loading screen. So how are we doing tonight? How's it hanging, so to speak? If I am mad, it is mercy. May the gods pity the man who in his callousness can remain sane to the hideous end. I'm like subconsciously trying to do a Darkest Dungeon narrator thing. I don't know why. It just feels right at this point. I mean, Darkest Dungeon was probably the best game for Lovecraftian horror in the last 5 years or so. At least it's the only one that legitimately terrified me in a way that had nothing to do with jump scares, but more like being afraid of what's around the corner and whether it was already aware and very pissed at me aware of and very pissed at me. Okay, WSAD move tutorials. That's a very horror thing to do. Kind of hate though that I've already raised the brightness a bit, but it still feels like it's a bit too dark in here. To crouch, press toggle control. Okay. Instead, we're gonna do another thing that the tutorial doesn't tell us. Yeah, it won't let me play around. Gonna have to follow its commands. Oh wait, no, hold on. This is the other side, right? Yeah. Okay. Oh well. Counter darkness. You must light up some items in order to interact with them. Yay. Puzzles. Oh, I see. So I assume this is what we use to light things up. Hurricane lamp. Huh, okay. Is that like its actual name? Because I always kind of called this one like the Zork lamp. Mainly due to Zork Grand Inquisitor. Although I believe, at least in text, it kind of features in all of the games of the series in one way or another. Okay. See, I'm very curious about things now. Is there anything else that I missed, or did we just like take this entire walkabout just to get the bolt cutters, which would probably be a very video gamey thing to do. Hey, Alalinor, welcome. How's it going? How are we doing tonight? I have no idea what this symbol means. Also, as you may or may not have noticed, my voice is slightly a bit more trebled. Whoa.
Fate inescapably draws you on.
Okay. So yeah, my voice is kind of a bit more trebled than usual. That's mainly because I think I might have caught a cold. Unfortunately. It's just like a damn good time to be catching that. Considering we're kind of like in a very annoying junction in my workload.
What a putrid offering.
Okay. Is that... Am I the one that says these things? I don't know. But yeah, kind of hope it's not anything more serious.
Don't fight. You have been chosen.
Why is it telling me to run? Behold! Well, some dudes.
The has already been written.
Where are their faces, though?
But perhaps you will attempt to change your destiny.
See, this is the problem with Call of Cthulhu games. If it's actually doing like the whole like Lovecraftian thing correctly, I should not survive by the end of the game, or like it should not have a happy ending. So I already know that like I'm either dead or what's it called? Going mad. Wait, consult diary? Really? Huh. Pierce Investigations Agency, my private detecting agency, contracted to the Wentworth Detective Agency. Okay. After the Great War, I decided to set up in Boston, where there is no lack of work for guys like me. So, like, check graph protagonist that has a checkered past. One small time case follows the other. Adultery, settled scores, disappearances that are not actually disappearances. You could have said faked disappearances. I mean, come on. The old office couch is less comfortable than a real bed, and I should probably get rid of these empty bottles. But this place is mine, for the moment. Wow. Was this with like 60s era detectives that are always down on their luck, like all of them? Do they not allow you to take the license if you're not like exhibiting either drug or alcohol problems, or are in any other way unable to function properly in society? Because that's like all of the ones that I can think of, right? Even like Tex Murphy does that, and that's kind of a parody, sci-fi parody of the whole Private Eye thing. Fine, the case. Pierce Investigation Agency. The doctor can well repeat to me that I no longer need my remedy to keep my memories at bay. But I know that if I stop, the memories will return. One of these mornings, I probably won't wake up. Despite the treatment, I again hear voices in my dreams. But they are different, unknown. They seem to surface from unfathomable and ancient depths. What nameless creature is calling me? And it's like another thing. How come always all of this like down on their luck detectives kind of speak with the sort of very poetic, flowery, no, well, not flowery really, but kind of like a grim, poetic kind of language. Kind of a weird, like they've all read the same books before becoming detectives. My old lighter, the engraved in memory of the 77th Infantry Division, the men of the Lost Battalion who fell. Okay. Clues, no clues. Pierce. Okay, this is my skill tree, I guess. I'm sure I'm gonna get a tutorial for this later. Sanity, mental trauma. Sanity stable, confident in your abilities and your Cartesian... Really? Cartesian mind? You conduct your investigation by sticking to the facts, your convictions, and your perception of reality. Your conclusions are logical and reliable. Well, not for long. It's kind of another thing with all the Lovecraft-inspired stuff. You don't get the whole benefit of perception of reality for much longer. Edward Pierce is a veteran of the First World War, where he took place in the Meuse-Argonne offensive. I wonder if I pronounced this correctly. He's one of the few survivors of the Lost Battalion, American units that suffered heavy losses from enemy and allied artillery fire. Forced to hold their position for several days, surrounded by the bodies of their fallen comrades, without food or medical supplies, the soldiers were considered as lost by the fellow countrymen. Pierce is traumatized by these events. He consumes sleeping pills and liquor to ward off the nightmares that haunt him. Okay. I mean, I don't think I need to bother with my skills yet, because, you know, kind of like the
I wonder
point.
why I still take these things.
Because I'm addicted to them. The doctors prescribed them when I returned from the war. Hey, thank you, Alalinor, for the 6-month subscription streak. Streak? I don't know if that's the proper thing to say, but thank you so much. Much appreciated. Enjoy your face emotes, I guess. They swore that they would put an end to the nightmares, but for a while now, their effect has been wearing off. Oh, so we can also kind of rotate it. Sleeping pills. Do I get like a... Ah, an inventory, there we go. Oh, knowledge? Why is it under knowledge? Okay, guess we're doing this.
Battalion. Holding your position and obeying orders. That isn't courage.
It's madness! Hey, Sister Morphine! Welcome, how's it going? How are we doing tonight? Yep. Wait. I swear I was aiming at something different. Okay.
The Wentworth Agency doesn't attract top-notch cases.
Okay. Guess.
Married woman runs off with her girlfriend. The husband couldn't
I'm
understand.
decent as well. I also got ice cream, although I don't have any here at the moment. It's in the fridge over that way. I did manage to manage to find. Yes, that's how English works. I did manage to find some of like the low calorie stuff though, because clearly I'm like in need of some convincing. I would fall for it. Yeah, I haven't had any yet though, so ha. Go. I'm not sure what the expression for that is, but ha, I haven't had any. Married woman runs off with her girlfriend. The husband couldn't understand it. Okay, case closed, I guess. Cool. Why this case in particular? By Sugar Free Kind. I mean, I don't know about
Good old
tastier.
story of blackmail in a speakeasy.
Yeah, speakeasy. Yes, you can tell we're in like the roaring 60s because there are speakeasies here. The bar owner who hired me didn't like the way I closed the case. But when you're already outside the law, there's not a lot one can do against a private detective who's got proof against you. Okay. Yeah, fair enough. You're so happy I'm playing this? Why?
Natural sciences, linguistics, archaeology.
Been wanting to see it for ages. Oh, that's great then. I've actually been meaning to get this for ages, and it's currently on sale for under 10 euros on Games Planet, I want to say. I kind of like checked, is there any deal on like a whim, and I immediately got a notification that this was like 75% off. I was kind of thinking, yeah, you know, I'm not actually getting the Humble Bundle this month because there are only 2 games in it that I'm interested in.
I should get rid of all
So this made more sense. I mean, it's also kind of nice for streaming as well. So you
I
know.
jotted down something other than my nightmares.
Really? What? Oh. Okay. I mean, I already had this, didn't I? It's not like it gave me access to my journal, which I've been using for the last 10 minutes. Close. Okay. Yep, figured. This is kind of what I was. Don't drink. I'm like a good person now. We're like going totally total.
Are you Edward Pierce, private investigator contracted by the Wentworth Detective Agency?
No, are you Edward Pierce?
Hello, Mr. Pierce. I'm
Is this made after a book? I don't think so, although
because of a problem with your file. A fire.
Generally,
Is that right?
I'm so very sorry, but I
all
have
of these
some
games
personal
kind of
information.
borrow from 3 or 4 different Lovecraft books, kind of. Let me try and remember. I think one of them is that horror at Arkham thing. Let me just check. I'm just gonna open up the browser here. Let's see. Oh yeah, it is based on H.P. Lovecraft's works, but generally most of those books kind of hold on. I'm trying to find like a list of all the books he wrote over the years. Apparently, also Lovecraft was like hugely racist, so books kind of don't really translate well in the present day. There we go, bibliography. So generally, as far as I remember, They like to borrow from Dagon. They like to borrow from, let's see, what was the other one? The Nameless City, which is kind of like it's usually like the setting of the final stuff in the game, in games generally. Call of Cthulhu, which is like the first official appearance of Cthulhu himself, itself. History of the Necronomicon, At the Mountains of Madness, The Shadow over Innsmouth, these, and The Whisper in the Dark. I think these three are supposed to be like very close in style to one another. The Dunwich Horror as well. So yeah, most of those are kind of usually used as material in all of these Call of Cthulhu games. Like Eternal Darkness uses a few references from that, and that's not even an actual official Cthulhu game. Dark Corners of the Earth did that a lot. This one, I assume, is probably going to do something like that. I mean, I'm almost certain that we're going to be visiting Innsmouth at some point. Not at all PC, yeah. I mean, yeah, the guy was racist. It was kind of like a product of his times, but, you know, liking his books in general isn't really... I haven't read a lot of them, to be honest. They're kind of hard to find in, like, you can find them very easily online, but most of the times there's like been omissions. Like a lot of the free options, at least, you tend to get a lot of edited stuff, and you know, everyone's got interpretations of it. Isn't something I talk that much about. I mean, not really. My social circle isn't much into horror, or even like the more subtle cosmic stuff, I guess, that Lovecraft tends to go to mostly. But you know, let's see. Got like all these bunches of skills. Jesus. Eloquence. Eloquence represents your ability to influence those you talk to by the power of speech. Improving these skills increases your chances of convincing or manipulating during discussions. Huh. Okay. Strength represents your ability to call on your physical power. Improving this skill increases your chance of forcing doors or mechanisms, or using violence, physical or verbal, during interactive discussions. Medicine represents your medical knowledge. Improving this skill increases your chance of determining the dosage of a drug. Whoa. Goes too far with the PC stuff. I've actually only read like a couple of Tintin comics, and the ones that I have aren't really, you know, very international. It's kind of like the first few adventures that are a lot more French. And yeah, I mean, like, I don't mind the editing per se, but on the other hand, it's kind of a pity to not have access to the original version if you so choose to, just for, you know, have a good indication of how things have changed in the last 50 years. But yeah. Let's see. Occultism represents your knowledge of the occult sciences. Improving this skill increases your chances of determining the use and origin of occult artifacts and of expressing your knowledge of the myth. Okay. Kind of like a weird thing to be interested in, but sure. Let's see. Psychology. Psychology represents your knowledge of human behavior. Improving this skill increases your chances of understanding the motivations of a person based on his or her behavior on the analysis of objects. Wait, they censored Captain Haddock? Wow. Okay. I just remember him like drinking a whole bunch, and then apparently in the later comics he tries to cut down on it. I mean, I'm not actually sure what I should... I want to go for spot hidden, to be honest. I mean, finding all the hidden stuff is like the dream for these kinds of games. Let's see, 6 CP needed for next level. So I guess you need 1, then 3, then 6. You're so bad at this. I mean, I know! Like, in most of these games, like Deus Ex, for example, or Dishonored, I actually get so obsessive over that I end up doing everything in the game just so that I can get all the skill points and get all the skills ever. Like, the problem with like this kind of stuff is that there's no actual clear indication of which is going to be most useful to you. So I could like go all in on spot hidden, and then it turns out that the game doesn't have anything that's hidden that's worthwhile. So you get to a point where, come on. I mean, like 3 out of 5 in these. You could just like try and like going even Steven on this, right? Go like this, everything's at 2 and like 3 at 3. I don't know. I mean, that seems like something that I should probably not be doing. You know what? No, screw it. I'm just gonna like go everything on hidden, spot hidden, and you know, find all the stuff. Do you really want to validate this character points attribution? Do I really? I don't know. Yeah, I do that too. Achievement, nice. Detective Edward Pierce. Okay.
On a related matter, may I raise a sensitive question?
What's wrong?
As you know, we wish to closely monitor the progress of our contractors, and it would seem you've been accepting fewer new cases.
Work is scarce.
Mr. Pierce, you know as well as I do, there's never been more investigative work than now.
Oh
Where are
no.
those cases worth?
She's on to me.
They're worth not losing your license. Show yourself worthy of the Wentworth Detective Agency, and we might keep you on the payroll. Mr. Pierce, are you still...
Ooh, he's a badass. He hung up on her.
I'm coming.
That's what she said. Can you just like pay attention to who you're putting in your
I came
office?
here on the advice of a person whom I hold in high esteem, and I must say that I expected anything but a drunken.
Oh, sick burn.
You're free to leave anytime, sir.
Ooh.
Do you know to whom you speak?
No,
Stephen
do you?
Webster, industrialist and art collector. All of Boston knows you.
Tell me, Mr. Pierce, are you capable of handling a new case, or are you simply a deadbeat inebriate?
If you come to me...
Who's this guy that keeps insulting us? Like, that's not how you get like
Take me for an
a
old fool.
contractor.
Sarah, my little girl. She is dead. Even you must know of her. She was Sarah Hawkins.
The painter?
No, not the Sarah Hawkins.
The police accuse her of killing her family. They all died in a fire. Sarah, her husband, and Simon, my grandson.
I can't do anything for a woman who is already dead.
Find out the truth. They say she was mad, but I know that's a lie. She would never have done such a thing.
But if you have no proof...
I've brought all that I have. Look,
I have proof. I have a
I want
painting.
you to look carefully at this painting. Tell me all the assumptions that come to mind.
Okay. Someone played a lot of Resident Evil before painting that.
What am I supposed to find?
Tell me if this is the work of madness,
Yep.
or if, on the contrary, you manage to detect some logic, a rationality to follow so that I may understand.
Yeah, this kind of feels a
Is
bit
that
like
all
those
you
Sherlock
want from
Holmes games, but you don't know.
Yes.
I mean,
Please.
All right.
I'm sorry, not you don't know. I don't know, because it's kind of like
That's all you've got? The painting?
yes.
I placed a file on your desk. It contains everything I have on the affair.
When did you place a file on my desk? Examine the Hawkins file. Examine the painting. A strange picture painted by Sarah Hawkins is a short while before her tragic death. Was sent to her father just after the artist died. He's convinced that she's the sender. How do we know that? Sneaky one, yeah. He brought me the painting so that I could examine it. Stephen Webster, the wealthy industrialist, came to my office. He wants me to reopen the Sarah Hawkins case, named after his daughter, who died in a fire alongside her entire family. Why are we getting these repeats? Come on, who wrote the journal entries? Learn some brevity, please. I must examine the documents he compiled in order to know more about the case. Okay,
A
sure.
warehouse on Darkwater. Some sketches of the Hawkins family. Rather thin.
Already forgot this. Some of it is unreadable, but I can make out part of the address. Warehouse 36, Darkwater. The police report. It says that the fire started in the dining room and claimed the whole family. The police decide on a domestic accident, but they, nevertheless, insist on Sarah Hawkins' mental frailty. Why? An article written about the marriage of Sarah and Charles Hawkins, a businessman from the island of Darkwater. Yeah, that's totally like Innsmouth. Totally Innsmouth, but like in everything but name. They live a recluse life? The word's reclusive. I mean, come on. With their only son, Simon. Yeah, okay, fine. Hi. 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 Fine, let's investigate. Ooh, okay.
There's the symbol on the man's chest. It's as if Sarah Hawkins breathed a message into it.
Huh?
So, Mr. Pierce, what do you make of these elements?
Like, I'm not sure the dialogue is going where I want it to go. Breathed. Yeah, it's like, yeah. I think this was probably written in a different language before being translated into English.
The sender's label mentions Warehouse 36.
That's right. It came with Sarah's last painting.
Oh,
And you think your daughter could have been the sender?
That is what you must find out.
well,
Go
well,
to Darkwater.
it only took him
Find
like 20 minutes to tell me what
36.
exactly he wanted out of me.
Darkwater? Never heard of the place. Where is that?
It's a small, remote island off the coast of Boston.
Yep, totally
Sarah
Innsmouth.
lived there with her son and her husband.
I suppose you want to ship me off there.
Darkwater holds the secret regarding my daughter, Mr. Pierce. You must uncover it.
So note that Mr. in this dialogue is MR, not dot. Previously in the cutscene it was Mr. MISTER lowercase. I'm pretty sure we're gonna find like a different version of it soon. See, investigation, professional, unlocked answer. Why is it an unlocked answer?
The meaning
Okay, let's see.
could be exactly as it appears.
So happy you don't read them.
I think your daughter is sending you a message.
That's what I believe, too. It was 3 months ago that I received the call from the police telling
Wait,
me
why
of
did
my
this guy
daughter's
wait for
death.
3 months to come
And yet
to
a
us?
short while after, this painting was delivered to my home. The painting is linked to this case, can't you see? You must find the meaning behind all this.
I mean, if I must.
Her husband was a big deal on the island. But the police are sticking to the accident theory. Though they mentioned Sarah's mental state was fragile.
Kind of
I
curious though,
believe
like,
you are right, sir.
why don't they do the Mass Effect thing that you
I
can
am
see
aware
both
of that.
characters at the same
I
time?
believe
Because
there is more to
it's
this
kind of like a
case than
very
just an
weird thing with
accident.
like the camera sways left and right very, very slowly. Like, check this out. Now it's centered on the old guy, but as soon as I pick
You
an
must
answer,
tell me
kind of like
if what the police suggest about the mental state of your daughter is true.
goes
No.
off.
Sarah had visions. Everyone knew that.
It's like this guy's like so
Fly.
bored that even when
She
he's
only thought she saw things.
even when he's
Saw.
like interviewing his client, he's like going,
I never knew what she meant by that. My daughter was an enigmatic figure, Mr. Pierce. You must find out the truth about her life and death.
No, I don't want to.
The sender's label mentions Warehouse 36.
That's right. It came with Sarah's last painting.
And you think your daughter could have been the sender?
Like,
That is what you must
how
find
annoying
out.
this is going to be is probably
Go
going to
to
depend on
Darkwood.
how much dialogue
Find
there is in this
Warehouse
game.
36.
Because, you know, if there's not a lot of it, that probably not going to be
I think I'm beginning to understand.
too
I'm
much of a
willing to
problem.
do anything for my
Already bored
daughter to
now. I'm just
recover
like
her
extremely
honor.
tired. The
Quiet
last
down.
few days haven't been particularly
your
kind
side.
to me,
Let something
unfortunately.
An artist dies with her family in a house fire.
Yes.
Your only clue is a sort of promontory painting sent from dark.
How is it a premonitory painting? How?
And the
It's
rumors
like-
about her supposed folly.
Which you don't totally deny.
Find that warehouse. Find out the truth regarding Sarah Hawkins' death. You'll be handsomely compensated.
All right, I'll take the case.
Why is this guy referring
I'll go
to
to
his
Doc.
daughter as like the full
To
name?
the death of your daughter.
Thank you, Mr. Pierce. I didn't expect any less coming from a man in your situation.
Something's queer. But it's not like I have a choice. Dark water. I think I've got a book on the North Atlantic.
Okay. Leave for that water. Find out about dark water. How is this more of a priority than this? Let's see. Dark water. Inhabitants. Stephen Webster. Age 63. Occupation businessman. A wealthy businessman well respected in the Boston area. Stephen Webster came to see me in order that I investigate the death of his only daughter, Sarah Hawkins. The man accepts neither refusals nor inconvenient truths. Who wrote this? He's ready to do anything to prove that his daughter was not mad. Okay. Charles Hawkins, deceased. Age 41, occupation ship owner. So I got like a very weird haircut for like a man in his 40s, but sure, why not? Charles Hawkins was a local celebrity on Darkwater. The heir of a ship owner family, he used to travel a lot. He met Sarah Hawkins during a trip in Paris. They fell in love, got married, and Hawkins took her to the remote island of Darkwater. They had a child named Simon and live a very secretive life. Okay, this is a lot better written actually, but you know. Sarah Hawkins, age 33. Wait, 41, 33? Okay. Occupation, painter. Sarah Hawkins, a painter known for her tortured artistic universe. She was worshipped for the strangeness of her work and the rarity of her public appearances. What? How can you be worshipped for not making public appearances? Who follows people based on how often they appear in public? Seriously. Also, someone missed a P here. Welcome to Grammar with Gregor. Just gonna get like a red marker and start like circling mistakes in the text. Her marriage to Charles Hawkins years ago surprised high society columnists. Okay, sure. A wealthy Boston heiress known for her party going. So, hold on. Here's my question here. So she's the rarity of her public appearances, but she was also party going. Something doesn't add up here, and I don't need 5 points in investigation to figure it out. Chooses to follow her new husband and live as a recluse on the island of Darkwater! Exclamation point. She disappeared from the front pages of newspapers, and no one heard any more about her. Grammatically awkward, but sure. Even her death in a fire remained a secret. Only her father, Stephen Webster, continue seek the truth. I should not be this annoyed by that. Continue seek the truth. Yep. Best England, bestest. Only age 11. Oh, it's kind of like a creepy stairs. Occupation, schoolboy. Okay. only son of Sarah and Charles Hawkins. He died in the fire that claimed his whole family. Yeah, he does not look like 11. He does not look like a boy either. He looks more like a robot or something. Art of Sarah Hawkins. Intuitive and visionary artist for some, overpriced impostor for others. Sarah Hawkins leaves nobody indifferent. This mysterious and reserved painter, remember, mysterious and reserved party-going painter, offers strange images with violent colors and wild strokes to the world. If your paintings are testimony to your vision of the world, then the world of Sarah Hawkins is a portal open to other dimensions. And apparently Edward wrote this. Haven't met like one likable person in this game yet. This painting depicts a monstrous silhouette threatening a woman and child. Flames can be made out in the background. Stephen Webster, the father of Sarah Hawkins, I think this sentence has been said like a million times already, thinks that this is linked to the death of his daughter. Cool.
I'll no doubt find some information on this island in there.
Yeah. Opens window, jumps out of window. Best story ever. Okay, fine. I want drink.
I should get rid of all this stuff.
Yeah. Why keep going with the full names? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, from like a gameplay perspective, I kind of get it that maybe you some people might not go and read all of these and just like pick the ones that they are most interested in, so you have to kind of mention the names all the time. But yeah, this whole like father of, daughter of, son of.
Heard of it.
I mean, it's kind
According
of
to
like
this book, it was often mentioned.
this isn't like some weird Norse epic where you have to know about Balder, son of Odin or something like that. Did I get that right? Was Balder like the son of Odin? Or no, he was like the son of Freya, I think, or something like that. Balder was the guy that his mom got everything on the world to promise to not kill him, except like a blade of grass or something like that. And that ends up like killing him at some competition thanks to Loki or something. Wow, if that's correct, I remember a lot more about Norse mythology than I want to. That's like small potatoes in comparison to the Greek one, though. That's more like an episode. Thor and Valley. I can't pronounce that. I can do like the little accent thingies. But yeah. Darkwater Island has been inhabited since the 14th century and is still very rich. I said very. Actually, like the reading about that in school. Yeah, I mean, this is purely not school related for me. Like, we can discuss Greek mythology if you want to. That's kind of something that I had to learn about in school. And in all honesty, Greek mythology is kind of like reading an episode of, I don't know, the Dynasty or something like that. It's like a lot of people actually get laid, a whole bunch, and everyone kills one another. And a lot of shape-shifting for some reason. But yeah. Lots and lots of sex too. So, kind of like Game of Thrones too in that regard. Lots of main characters, and you never know who of them is gonna either fuck or die. Darkwater Island has been inhabited since the 14th century and is still rich with the many memories left by its lost tribes. That makes no sense. Grammatically, have I seen Roman Spartacus? No, but I've seen clips. Yep. Mostly clips that's like, lol, you'd never believe what they show on TV these days. But don't let... Meanwhile, I kind of like realize that my face is hiding the text. So maybe if I go over this side, it might be a bit easier to read. Or maybe if I come down here, it would be a bit easier to read. And go like this. Maybe that's better. So yeah. But don't let the romanticism of these moving evidences. What? Evidence is evidence. You don't have a plural. Evidences. But don't let the romanticism of these moving evidences of such naive and primitive beliefs fool you into forgetting how violent their gods were. A gigantic creature still ornates the walls of long abandoned caves? Did they like throw this all in Google Translate or something? Was it a sea or a dream god? No one knows, but today's inhabitants, the sons and daughters of proud whale hunters, still remember the mysterious and tumultuous story of the small land off the coasts of Massachusetts. Yeah, I'm not actually sure either. I usually play like maybe 30 minutes to an hour of a game
linguistics, archaeology,
before I set up the scenes and stuff.
Natural sciences, linguistics, archaeology.
In XSplit, but I kind of wanted to go blind into this.
Dark waters
because you know it's kind of what like the horror is based on, I guess.
According to this book,
the feeling of the game. Wait, but The Learning of Medicine, Volume 1. Okay. A dense work aimed at interns and young practitioners. Their first volume lists all illnesses known in the civilized world. It details the symptoms and suitable treatment. That's just like the first volume. The second one is... like, if all of that is on the first tome, what the hell do you need the second one for?
Mentioned during whale hunting times at the end of the
I'm like legitimately curious at this point. Oh wait, the medicine and occult skills can only be improved by objects discovered in the environment. Oh, okay. Fair enough. Island of Darkwater. It would seem that the world has forgotten the very existence of this isolated rock off the coast of Boston. It is a small, inhospitable island whose coast... Why didn't I go with Metroid before, like, instead of this? Fine. Whose coastline is made up of steep cliffs and sharp reefs, and with only one outlet to the sea. It is mainly inhabited by the descendants of whalers who set up a supply post there in the 1800s. It was hit severely by the collapse of this activity. Screw Focus Interactive and whoever does their translations. Seriously. I think that the only venture on the island that is still profitable is its medical institute. Yeah, so it's totally in smooth in everything but name.
Century. But it seems to have been shunned since then.
Hey, achievement, the Sarah Hawkins case. Oh, now you can see the achievements. Boo. You just like come over to here. I mean, we're kind of like missing out on, I don't know, stuff. I actually moved it this way before, but a bit like this in the middle. Oh boy. Guess kind of like this would be the best. At least I want you to be able to see like the pop-ups, if not the actual names. Pierce took the Hawkins case. The cursed artist is accused of having caused the fire that killed her and her family. As the only clue, she left her father a disturbing painting. You could have said the only clue was the painting she left her father. On the shipping label, an address, a warehouse set on the docks of the island of Darkwater. The place seems to be the starting point of Pierce's investigation. Seems? I mean, it could maybe not be, I mean, we are going there, right? I don't know. It's like I feel like I'm maybe getting a bit too worked up over the grammatical mistakes, but this Silent Hill shadow. Yeah, it's like the Silent Hill fog. Also, screw those guys for their bad translation. I want to say that focus are kind of what, French probably, and this is probably the work of awkward translation, maybe. I mean, I won't let it get in the way of my enjoyment of the game, if that's what you mean. But it will still annoy the hell out of me.
We're almost there.
Yeah, we're almost there. Yar. Oh my. It only took us like an hour to get the title card. I think I may be reading too much as well. Ooh, Skilla. Nice. That's a bit of a Greek mythology name for you there.
Stay on board. There's guys coming to unload.
There's guys coming to unlock.
Welcome to Darkwater Island, Mr. Pierce.
What are you buying?
Thank you, Captain Fitzroy.
What are you selling?
So, what will
Isn't that like almost exactly the
Does the
voice
Hawkins
from
case mean anything to you?
the peddler from Resident Evil 4?
A sad story that we would all prefer to forget. Charles Hawkins may have been a grandmother, but he was a good man. And his wife, Sarah Hawkins.
She wasn't buying.
This young woman, and a great pain.
Oh, jeez. You can like literally
What?
just like hear it in my
Go
head.
have a drink at the Stranded Whale. What you need is a good pick-me-up. Mitchell may not be very welcoming, but his bar holds a surprise for you.
His bar will
As for
fox
me,
what?
Find me at the harbor master's office.
Why would I want to go to a bar that
Hawkins family
holds a
is waiting
surprise
here.
for me?
I have a pile of documents that should interest you.
Understood. I'm going for a look around the docks.
Okay. Let's consult the diary. Go to the bar. Talk to Bradley. Talk to Fitzroy. Yay. Oh wait, I have CP. I guess. Kind of wondering what like the sanity thing is supposed to do. Because I can see a bunch of options here. Maybe it's kind of like perks that you unlock during play or something. Darkwater Port. At the entrance to the port of Darkwater, one still passes in front of the shell of the Skilla, the last whaling ship to have brought back a catch. Sailors wander the docks looking for some small job for the day. A gang of bootleggers has set itself up there and is gnawing away at the territory of Captain Fitzroy, the last sailor to own a boat capable of making the round trip between the island and mainland. Here, the golden age of whale hunting is but a distant memory. I mean, that's better somehow. Still a bit grammatically awkward though, but you know, at least it works. Conveys clear intent, at least. At the very least. There's like a guy. What the hell is this guy expecting to catch in these waters though? Like, jeez. The best you could get was probably be like a slime ball or something. Hey buddy, that's not how fishing works. Welcome to the adventures of Edward Pierce, annoying idiot. A new boot? Oh, is that why they're called bootleggers? Ho 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 ho.
Let the police do their work. Hey, Cthulhu, can't go any faster.
See how old this
Okay, what happened here?
If we force it too much, we'll break everything.
Hi.
Can't do that.
But it's only a fish.
A fish? You've got no idea. Don't badmouth what you don't know.
What, the
or
fish?
you'll pay for it for sure.
Okay, that's enough. Step back and let us do our job.
Oh, nice. The voice actors.
Oh, yeah.
That's enough. Step back and let us do
Can't
our
understand. You're
job.
not sailors. It's a sign. There's something coming. Something real bad.
Don't put that beast back in the water, you shysters. You're
You shysters!
They can't understand.
damn stupid idiots.
You
Forget it. Nobody
shysters.
listens to us anyway.
That's no way to treat an old
Okay, they're kind of like
Oh,
looping
yeah.
now.
He's gonna get
Just
us
like,
in
see,
trouble.
medicine.
The blood is just beginning to
Ooh,
coagulate.
ex
It died a short time
oblivione.
ago. Only a specialist would know what killed it.
Okay, only specialists would know what killed it. Fail a skill test. Aww.
They're cops.
What could have done so much damage?
I failed the skill
You're
test.
not sailors.
No.
It's a sign.
The same goes for you, sir. Move along.
Look at how big this guy's head is.
I'm looking for this address. Warehouse 36.
Pretty sure you could do a better job. I mean, probably.
Ah. And so who are you?
I didn't introduce myself. Edward Pierce, private detective.
In any case, it's not very important.
Then why
I
ask?
can't answer that.
You can't? Or you don't want to?
Why
Oh,
ask
no.
if there's no
I'm not getting
point
it,
in
don't
asking?
take me. Now, please, allow me to do my job.
Can't understand.
Don't put that.
You can see that I'm busy, can't you?
You
That's
can't
no way to
understand. You're
treat
not
an old man.
sailors. Oh,
What could have done so much damage?
God damn it. I failed the skill test. I hate that.
Oh, yeah. It's a sign. There's something coming. Something real bad.
I recognize so many voice actors, really? I always have trouble recognizing them.
Prohibition is just a joke around here.
Even
That's-
even if I do know who's voicing a character, I usually have a lot of trouble, picking up the I guess you'd call the harmonics of it. Is that the right word? Just like get the lamp. Also, why is this lamp emitting green gas? What? That can't be right? Hi. Also hi. The guys inside are like, "Hey Joe, there's like this weird idiot outside staring at us." Oh my god, cutscenes, more cutscenes. No! Stop. Supposed to be the fog. I mean, yeah, but why would it be green then? I mean, even the sea salt when it burns doesn't produce that kind of emerald green, or like at least the iodine in the seawater. Whoops.
Hey, be careful.
I mean, that's a good way of making a good first impression. Just try to beat the shit out of people the first time you meet them. Well done.
Let's get him another drink. He's dry.
In my bar, we don't serve troublemakers.
Hold to test eloquence. What was test strength? We have like 3 in both, right? Squid, I'm just gonna do
You
that.
saw what happened. He's the troublemaker.
Nah.
You're a true mainlander. A real princess.
Aw, thank you.
You strut around with your la-di-da ways, and then, as soon as the pressure rises, you start squealing.
I failed, didn't
You
I?
don't have what it takes to drink my whiskey. You got to earn it.
Yeah.
I'm here for information, not for a fight.
I prefer it that way. Speak then. I reserve the right to answer or not.
What can you tell me about her?
We all knew she was famous on the mainland for her paintings. Never understood why. Then, I don't want to speak ill of the dead.
Sure.
Her vision. Was it so terrible?
Way I see it, the truth is really a question of point of view.
What do you mean by that?
Do you still trust the truth after a bottle of whiskey?
Her style made her famous. How would you describe it? Tortured?
Yeah. Well, it wasn't.
I hate it when games do this,
I mean,
that
for a
you
young
have
woman
like an
with a
option,
child
but
and
when you
all that.
click it,
We saw
they
them in the
actually
papers and
say
said to
like a
ourselves,
totally different thing in
"Who
the
can make
dialogue.
such things? Is that how she sees the world?
So they made you feel uncomfortable.
You need to see them for yourself. Make up your own mind.
I've got what I need.
Anything else?
The stranded whale. I guess this bar has been here a long time.
Yeah, because then you go,
tell you?
no, take it back, take it back.
Nostalgic sort
I
of
meant
guy.
something different.
The name, it reminds us of the golden age of dock water. When our whalers left for long months and came back sweating and stinking of the oil and flesh of the whales they'd been hunting.
Okay.
It was a tough time, all the same.
Ah, but steeped in glory. We've never
Yeah,
known
The
such
Walking
wealth
Dead
since
did
then.
that so much in like the first 2 seasons. I haven't played the other ones.
What can you tell me about it?
We all knew then.
I
Any,
didn't expect to find alcohol on this island. What's the source of this miracle?
you mean who? Our source of supply wouldn't like me to betray them to the first comer.
I'll tell nobody.
She'd know it anyway.
Whoa, so it's a
else?
she. Haha. Fooled you.
What can you tell me about
We all then.
I've got what I...
Anything?
Do you know where this place is? Warehouse 36, Darkwater Harbor.
Do I?
The Hawkins warehouse. I see, yeah. If I were you, I wouldn't hang around there.
Why not?
First off, there are rumors. Sailors from around here say you can hear noises coming from the warehouse at night. Screams, that sort of thing.
Oh my.
Screams.
And that's not all. There's the fate of its owners and all the superstitions that go with it. But I'll say no more. Anything else?
Well, if you say no more,
That'll be all for now.
jerk. Let's see. Talk to Fitzroy. Okay. Oh, I only have like 1 CP. What the hell? So I assume the percentage is the chance that the skill will actually work. Can they stop singing? I actually think I may have blocked it out slightly. Roy Mitchell, age 55. This guy does not look 55. Owner of the Stranded Whale Bar. Roy Mitchell runs the only bar in Darkwater. Prohibition has no hold on the Stranded Whale, and sailors come to seek some comfort in Mitchell's whiskey. The man therefore knows, more than anyone, the secrets and rumors of the inhabitants of the island exchange after a few glasses. Wish you had that ability. What, to sing? Huh. Okay. I mean, to each his own. Mitchell is devoted to the... Wait, what? Oh, to block stuff out? I mean, it doesn't always work. I mean, at work, for example, I have to wear noise-cancelling headsets, earphones, so that I don't hear my boss, who is loud AF. Mitchell is devoted to the golden age of whale hunting if the numerous trophies that decorate his establishment are anything to go by. The man will talk freely on this subject on which he is so keen. But he will be far less enthusiastic if one was to inquire about his source of liquor. A bar where liquor is served with total impunity. It's the last thing I expected to find when I arrived on this island! Exclamation point. He didn't seem so excited about this when he walked in here. The Stranded Whale is its name, and it's managed with an iron hand by the owner, a certain Mitchell. He does not tolerate troublemakers, and he fiercely protects the identity of his supplier. All the inhabitants of the area seem to go there, and I even saw what looks to be a truce between the bootleggers and the sailors. What looks to be a truce? Come on. English. Why? Come on. Hello there. This guy looks a bit pale.
Nightmares. Can hear things and voices whispering. Will follow its reader and appear at various locations.
No,
Gifted
wait,
with
he's
its own
named.
consciousness. Until it finds a new reader.
Uh-huh.
She won't stop asking.
I think these guys are supposed to be asylum stuff, but I just like walked past them, and the subtitles kind of didn't like that, so they said, "Nope, you're gonna read about that dialogue instead." Screw you.
The miraculous catch.
Wow.
Apparently, the most significant event of the last 80 years.
Miraculous catch. The Scylla returns to port to save Darkwater from famine. We have given up hope. The crew of the Scylla, or what remains of it, returned to Darkwater port late on Tuesday afternoon. The locals immediately rushed to the docks to welcome the last whaling ship on the island. People were amazed at the sight of the unbelievable catch the brave vessel had on board. Of a size that went beyond that of a formidable toothed whale's, the cetacean that is already being called the miraculous catch covered the whole deck, and parts of it were hanging over the side of the ship. Parts of it. The surviving sailors told a frightening account of their perilous catch, but also of its meat, unmatched in its quality and plentiful nutritious benefits. I thought whale meat was kind of just supposed to be very, 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 very fatty, but when they reach parts, wink, wink. There is no doubt that the immense size of this whale will allow numerous inhabitants of Darkwater to feed themselves, bringing an end to the famine from which part of the island was suffering. Part of the island was suffering. How can only like part of the island be suffering from famine? How? Yeah, but I mean, this kind of looks like it's all poor parts and nothing else. Since, you know, it's kind of supposed to be a whaling village, right? So, in fishing communities, you generally don't tend to get the rich and the poor. It's all kind of like equalized, generally. Hey, interesting.
Are too high. It's a book.
I mean, I haven't seen much of the island, no, but, you know, like in general, the way fishing villages are portrayed in games, there shouldn't be that
miraculous
much
apparently the most significant
variation, I guess.
Last 80 years.
Do you like our song?
No,
We're true sirens.
no,
We may not be pros, but we give it all we've got.
that's the
That's
problem.
true. It's a reminder of the time when we were still fishing for whales off Darkwater Island.
See, that's your problems, though, because whales generally don't go this close to islands in the middle of America. Just teasing you. Yeah, I know.
What brought whaling to an end?
The whales, of course.
Yes, they rose up against us.
You exhausted the stocks.
You could say that, yes. There were fewer and fewer of them.
That's exactly what I said.
Till the last, the biggest.
They didn't have internet back then.
The miraculous catch. Exactly.
So, okay. I am now going to do a thing that I like to do with horror games. I'm going to try and predict some things. I have never played this game before. I think I only watched the intro cinematic once on YouTube, and that was about it. However, here's a prediction. The miraculous catch that they're talking about was some kind of old god corpse or something like that, and everyone eating from it kind of made them into, I guess, thralls of the elder god or something. Here's a good prediction at 1 hour and 14 minutes of the stream. Just gonna actually put a marker for like a stream highlight here.
What brought whaling to an end?
Just
The
to
whales, of course.
see
They all
if I
disappeared.
am correct.
You exhausted the stuff.
You could say until the last, the biggest.
The one of the miraculous catch.
Exactly.
I've never heard this song before.
Only people from here know it. It tells the story of the miraculous catch.
I saw the newspaper clipping. You don't believe it, do you?
Watch what you say, young man.
That catch saved our island.
I'm like not much older than
where's the
you or
proof?
younger than you.
We're the proof.
Whoa.
Without it, the whole of Darkwater would have died of hunger in 1847.
It's true. Everything happened just as it says in the newspaper report. Our grandparents tasted its
Ha!
flesh.
See?
And it was delicious.
I bid you farewell, gentlemen.
Good night, stranger.
So long.
But yeah, it kind of also mentions it here that they did like
The
a
miraculous catch.
thing. There you go. I kind of skipped
Most
this part when I was reading
significant
before.
last 80
To celebrate the return of our brave whalers, all the staff of the Stranded Whale invite you to an exceptional and free tasting event. Come with your family or with friends to taste the miraculous catch. Each person will leave with a bottle of oil, so don't hesitate. So, offering free food from an abnormally large whale. I'm like 90% sure that this is going to be the case. They ate this thing and it wasn't an actual whale. It was something else entirely, and now they're all under its thrall or something like that. Oh no, I can't just walk anywhere that I want to? Maybe if I try more time. We'll find out. Yeah, that's why I put like the stream marker. I'm very interested to see if I get it right this time around.
What you looking at, stranger?
This happened a lot in Outlast as well. I think I have a like the entire run was like me predicting stuff 10 minutes before they happened. Not because I'm like that good at predicting, but because that game was so easy to figure out. It basically telegraphed all of the plot twists 10 minutes ahead of time. She can certainly put them away. What? What happens if I choose this option? What are like the actual words that are gonna come out of the idiot's mouth now? Let's try it.
I've rarely seen a woman who can hold her liquor so confidently.
Wow.
What gives you the right to judge me?
It was a compliment.
So what? Let me drink, stranger. I told you to beat it.
Okay. Outlast was very predictable.
Charles Hawkins was a heavy drinker. And a debtor.
A
Interesting.
debtor. The word is debtor. The word is debtor, not debtor. This is like some guy called Winchester. Unfortunate.
Charles Hawkins was a heavy
Debtor.
drinker.
Have I played Outlast 2? No.
Interesting.
I didn't enjoy the first one that much, and I still need to play through Whistleblower, the DLC, so... I don't know. I really didn't like Outlast. The entirety of the horror was just some pretty good jump scare timing, and that's about it. And body horror, because that's so hard to pull off. You saw Atlas 2 streamers. What the really? Like in a good way or in a bad way? Like the dot kind of makes me think like a bad way.
Broken. This place seems half abandoned. I wonder what Captain Fitzroy has got to say about this woman, Cat.
Captain, the terms of our agreement are clear. Keep your men under control. You cannot afford to provoke us. No need to answer this message. Just make your payment to the carrier. Oh, it's mostly trying to shock you with gross stuff. Yeah, it's almost like they didn't really realize what made the first one successful.
Fishing equipment.
They
Could do with some
did like the thing that they always, like 90% of horror games do with sequels, that they focused on entirely the wrong stuff for the sequel.
From a more prosperous era. The Scylla. It finished up beached at the
Scylla?
entrance to the harbor.
The K isn't silent, you know. Ooh. The learning of medicine. Hey, we get to figure out what Volume 2 contains. This second volume teaches ethics and good practice to medical stuff. Huh? How does that increase my knowledge in medicine, though? It's like, how am I better at figuring out medical things now that, yes, maybe I shouldn't do that. Whistleblower was pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, again, I did not like the first one very much. I know people love it generally, but it became so predictable to me that I went back and watched my stream of it. I legitimately started yawning an hour into the game, and that should never happen in a horror game. In like a true horror game, like a edge of your seat, pardon the French, but pants-shitting horror. I should not get bored at something that people say is the scariest game ever. In this photograph, a man who looks like Captain Fitzroy is posing on the bridge of a ship. He has a wooden leg. Am I going to... Oh, do you... He's like an extension to that theory. We are like trying to find stuff, and this clue is a guy that looks like the Captain Fitzroy, but he's impossibly old to be the actual Fitzroy. Maybe them eating the flesh kind of made them immortal or something as well. Was my favorite horror game? Eternal Darkness. Because it's one of the very few examples where the game actually tries to fuck with you on a very basic level, I guess. Haven't seen or played that one. Ooh. All the more reason to stream it again one of these days. I'm not actually sure where my GameCube collection is at the moment, but it's one of the best games in the GameCube collection generally. It's not exactly a very terrifying game. In fact, the jump scares and the general like body horror stuff is not minimal but very subdued generally. But it's maybe the first game that ever used the sanity meter. Except that when you are low on sanity, your character starts hallucinating. And I really don't want to spoil much, but the game actually messes directly with the player on that regard. There's like a lot of sanity effects in that game, and I don't really want to spoil much if you're planning on watching it at one point. Although I guess I don't know. If the person that's streaming it knows what they're doing, you probably never see most of the sanity effects. So there's a few that are a bit more unique. That again, if you know what you're doing, you'll never go that low to actually witness them.
I've brought out the Charles Hawkins cargo manifests. They're on the table next to you.
Do you have a wooden leg?
You're likely to be disappointed. When you're done, come join me on the deck.
Love the scarecrow parts of Arkham Horror. Yeah, that was quite unique. Although I will say that the bits but you have to do all the platforming kind of killed it, because nothing kills horror like having to replay the same stuff over and over again because you missed a jump or because you died accidentally, having to go like 20 minutes back to a checkpoint and like redo the whole thing again.
That's all I get from them.
Okay. New clue manifests. Wait, why is this? Oh, I guess occultism or this. Why do I have an exclamation point? Oh, because there's like a points I haven't spent, maybe. So remember the body bags? Yeah, that was a good one. I meant more like the later hallucinations where you have to do like the whole platforming thing and try to hide so that the giant scarecrow doesn't see you.
This place seems half abandoned.
Those were not as good.
It finished up beached at the entrance.
But the first 2 or 3 of those, like the one in the morgue and the other one that's that you're like in the alley where like Batman's parents died, and like while you are moving towards the corpses, you gradually become younger and younger. Those were like very good.
I'm just the last serving captain on Darkwater. Tell me what I can do to help you.
Stop speaking in that voice. So, speaking of which, another game that was unintentional, had unintentional horror that you may have played is Thief Deadly Shadows. Specifically the level Shalebridge Cradle, I think, which is an abandoned and haunted orphanage. Great horror from a game that doesn't really do horror.
Your manifests have been blacked out. They're totally unreadable.
I don't know if you played that one, but it's quite a good scare there. Haven't played any of the Thief games yet. Wow.
Enough for someone to hide it.
Well,
why obliterate the dates as well as
the first 2 might be a bit hard to get into, although they generally do also have some horror. Although it's not really like horror, it's more kind of like suspense, I guess. But the third one, Deadly Shadows, does have a level that goes a lot further into horror territory. Excuse me, being workaholic. Yeah, I mean, I didn't mean for it to sound like dismissive or anything. I mean, wow, and that like you've got like a fair bunch of very good games to try at one point if you can get them. And like the first 2 Thief games have been around on Steam for a while now, very cheap as well. I mean, yeah, just look at it as like having a lot of stuff to look forward to. Have a huge backlog. Yeah, I know the feeling. Believe you me. I mean, yeah, you might actually own the first one. Probably they were giving it out for free on Steam for some time. But yeah, speaking of backlog, let me see. Kind of like went through a phase at some point where I like just kept buying games and, you know, never really finishing them overall. So yeah, 1,630 games on Steam. Plus however many I own across all of the consoles. Probably played like 15 or 20% of them overall.
I'm surprised Charles Hawkins had goods to store, knowing that whaling stopped in
Oh, snap,
1847.
we were using
I see that
prior
you're
experience.
interested in the history of our island.
I see you've been
Indeed,
exploring.
Maritime activities ceased altogether at the end of the last century. I imagine that the Hawkins family had other types of contracts.
But you don't know with whom?
No, it was none of my business.
Look at all the unlocked answers.
I was looking at your photograph. The one of the man in front of the boat.
Ah, yes, I can see the one you're talking about.
Can you?
Interesting resemblance. I thought it was you, but with a wooden leg.
And for good reason. That's my father in the photograph.
Why are they unlocked? How do you unlock them?
John
I assume it's
Fitzroy,
based on what clues you have
His wooden
gathered.
leg is here. You can go and see it if you're interested.
So this probably unlocked when we found the photograph. This unlocked when we visited the wharf and talked to the police officer. I think it only shows the unlocked ones. Like I'm not sure. I could like check probably, but I suspect that it only shows the
I
ones that
found
you've
the
got
threatening letter,
unlocked.
signed by a certain cat.
What? I don't mind you visiting my harbor master's office, but I'd prefer if you didn't go through my affairs.
You were fine with me looking at your photograph.
Not exactly, no. That shyster wants
Shyster.
to make us pay protection money.
With any success?
I wouldn't say that, but she terrifies my men as much as her own.
Can you not do anything to stop her?
Don't you worry about that.
I'm just back from the wharves. The dead killer whale is unsettling the sailors.
Ah, yes. Us men of the sea are superstitious folk.
The police took the decision to put the killer whale back into the sea.
You've got to understand them. They didn't know what to do with it.
I think that was a mistake. Who says that whatever caused those wounds is no longer in these waters?
Does it matter?
You think we should have kept it?
To look into the real cause of its death, at least. Killer whales don't have many known predators.
That's true. And normally, they're not found around here. But, you're gonna take me for a fool.
Nope.
Give it a try.
Have you heard about the depths? Trenches that plunge into the earth and that shelter creatures unlike any other.
Ooh,
You're talking
marine biology 101.
Indeed, you're right.
The miraculous catch. Is it a local legend?
Not at all. It's an episode from our glorious past.
Episode.
Go read the story of the sailors.
Who uses the word episode
Harbor.
in like
It's displayed
early
on the wall of the
1900s?
stranded whale.
I'm looking for Warehouse 36. Do you know where it is?
Look, it's right there. The warehouse is opposite the jetty. You can't miss it.
There's like literally one giant warehouse on this island.
Understood.
You know who the building belongs to, don't you?
Should I lie? Oh, investigation. Okay, unlocked answer. Should I try investigation and see if it works?
It belonged
Fuck
to
it,
the
I'll do it.
Hawkins family.
Precisely. Ship owners from father to son.
Wait, did I
think that
succeed?
somebody here wanted me to search this warehouse. Can you tell me where...
Look, I've already shown it to you. It's the one with the...
I've already shown it to you, if you know what I mean.
Miss it.
Open strange codes. Wow.
I shall be on my...
So come back and see me when you've got something new.
Hey, gained 1 CP. I'm kind of noticing that all the light sources have this weird green fog thingy effect. Something new. What's wrong with the old stuff? I don't know. I don't want to answer that. Oh, and suddenly everyone cleared off so I can go through. Nice. So, not that we know who Kat is, do you think she'd answer us?
Another break?
Ah.
One of those damn sailors came looking for trouble again.
But he won't try again anytime soon.
Don't mind me, I'm just eavesdropping in plain
So you
sight.
said to yourselves that after such a feat, you could abandon your post.
It's just a little drink. We taught those guys a lesson.
We'll return right after. It's just that standing guard in this alley makes your throat dry.
Not fool.
Super sneaky next to the fireplace.
I'll have to send him a more clear-cut message.
Hi.
I told you to beat it.
Wait, what? That was weird. My character could only go sideways. Somehow. So what happens if I go through this side? Because the warehouse is that way. Aha!
You saw what happened with those sailors. Don't hang around here unless you want trouble with the bootleggers.
I've seen the kind of messages their boss sends. You're not scared of her.
Of course I am. Everyone's scared of that woman.
Wow.
She's not interested in small fry like me. You, on the other hand, nose around too much, you'll have dealings with her.
This warehouse looks abandoned. Why does it interest them so much?
No doubt a question of territory, but I ain't asking. You want to know more, go ask the captain.
Good. Thank you. I shall take my leave.
Okay. So wait, is this the way to the warehouse after all? Oh, I see. Okay. How clever of the developers to block the way like this. It's not like I could maybe, climb above it and continue on. Foiled again by chest-high obstructions. So if that way is the way forward, what about this side then?
He's gonna get us into trouble. You can't understand.
What could have done so much damage?
Don't put that beast back in the water, you shysters.
Shysters. Wow. I love hearing that word. Prepare for the Titanic scene. Wait, what? Ooh, hold on. Investigation. Do I? Three out of 5. Should go like this. 50%. Ooh.
There.
Aha. Made it. The spot hidden skill allows you to detect hidden items in close range. Once all these items are found... Oh, come on. Oh, it's the question mark on the bottom left of the screen. Oh, in the car.
Hello, old friend.
Wait, bottle of liquor? Is this supposed to be a secret or something? Oh, never mind. This is the secret. Kat knows about the theft from her stock of liquor. She'll soon find out who it is, and I wouldn't like to be in his shoes.
Somebody's stealing from the bootlegger's stock of liquor.
Whoa. Can I, put out the lighter or something? James Fitzroy, age 45, occupation captain. James Fitzroy is the captain of the Charybdis. Ooh, see, skill line Charybdis. Get it? The only boat that still sails between Darkwater and Boston. His base is the Harbour Master's office, from where he misses nothing that happens on the island. Really. The inhabitants of Darkwater respect him. The bootleggers despise him. He offered to help me in my investigation. Okay. This bottle is part of a batch stolen from Kat, the boss of the bootleggers. An excellent way to lean on the guy who guards the entrance to the warehouse. How do I know that? Seriously. How? How in the 7 like freaking hells do I know that this is what I need to I guess extort the person that's guarding the warehouse? I mean, if you want to make me into like a
St. Brendan, patron saint of
an investigator,
desecrated. I can't even say
show
which
me how
language it's
this guy deduces stuff. This is like the Sherlock Holmes
I've no
thing.
idea what it says.
Oh, I failed another test. I keep failing tests all the time. Sucks. Saint Brendan. Does the patron saint of whales and whalers still protect the sailors of Darkwater? Visibly, there were other gods before... Gods? There were other gods before Saint Brendan, and their worshippers with 2P, not... I'm sick of like worshippers not having like the second P. It annoys me. Do not seem to be of this opinion. The locals still worship the old saint, but the mark was made on the statue by another cult. How do we know it was another cult? Oh, you thought bribe? I mean, I think the idea is that when you say you want to lean on someone, it's in order to make them uncomfortable. So I would probably guess blackmail rather than bribe. It's okay to write 11P? Really? Oh wow. Fair enough. But I don't know. Shipped is definitely with like 2 P's, right? It's like one of these new interpretations of it.
Where do you think you're going?
I thought that the Hawkins case had been closed.
Nice beard.
So what are you doing on guard duty in front of this warehouse?
Who's asking the questions here, the cop or the tourist?
The tourist.
Who are these others so interested in the warehouse?
What others?
What's the difference between a police officer and
Wait,
a private
I failed.
The badge?
Exactly. Apart from that piece of metal, there's nothing that sets us apart.
Did I fail?
You think so?
We're looking for the same thing, you and I.
Okay. Spare me the next verse. I'll tell you what I know. There
I
are
succeeded, I
sailors
guess.
who think that there's a beast prowling around the docks. Then again, these guys panic at the thought of bringing a rabbit onto a boat, so...
I see.
And there are others who would like to use the warehouses for their goods.
Yeah, he does have a very red
Sorry.
nose.
I really can't talk about them. You again. I told you to beat it.
No need to get worked up.
Everyone's like telling us to beat it. I don't know why. I mean, I could go like... Is this Rudolph in disguise? Maybe.
Who's this guy?
No idea. You better keep it shut.
Don't worry, we
Okay.
don't have a clear conscience.
You live here?
Why did you do that, huh?
We saw what you did to St. Brendan.
Yeah, we'll teach you to come onto our island and ridicule our protectors.
I respect your beliefs.
Our beliefs? You mean you don't believe in God?
That's irrelevant.
What?
That's what you think.
There's you, our beloved statue, and then those two bozos behind us. Wait, now that I think about it, it's got to be them. There's one of them who's always going back and forth to the statue.
Quieter. That's all we need for them to hear us.
What brings you to Dark Water?
I've taken enough of your time.
We'll see you later.
Okay, so kind of want to just beat it. I mean, I could see that happening, like in one of those like YouTube poop videos or something. So, kind of seeing that the idea is to somehow sneak past those guys. So I can either use the bottle that I found or use these guys to distract them, maybe. It's kind of interesting, which means that the other side was not where I was meant to be going to begin with. Also, how do I lower the lighter? It's a bit annoying. Very annoying, actually. Oh, wait, there's something hidden in here. Up there? Or down here?
It looks like there's a way in under this grate.
Really? There's a way in? There's water there. I mean, come on. Okay, it's like a
whale vertebra. If the newspaper clipping in the bar is true, this bone is a real fossil.
Okay, I am genuinely curious here. What would happen if we hadn't read the thing in the bar? Would we not be able to investigate this? Thought you meant to have the lighter on still. No, I actually have no idea how you lower it. Let me see. Keyboard. Light. Middle mouse button. Really? Oh, there we go. That's much better. This part enables heavy loads to be lifted and held aloft without risk.
This ratchet device seems to be usable.
Found the secret. And another secret. This lever activates a mechanism.
A handle. It must come from these old winches.
There's like one more probably thing that we need to find. It's time to get ice cream. Enjoy.
I could use this old winch to lift the grating.
Wait. Hold on. Let's see if we don't fuck things up. This lever activates a mechanism. This part enables heavy loads to be lifted and held aloft without risk. Wonder if I... Wonder if I first have to install the ratchet someplace. Yep.
It should be possible to mount this cogwheel on the winch.
Okay. So what's the correct order here? I think I want to say cogwheel first. Oh, never mind. Hey, it doesn't matter in which order you do it.
Looks like everything is in its place. All I have to do
Come on.
is turn this handle.
Oh my. Looks like we made it. Whoa. Guess I'm not supposed to be in here.
Smoke. It's coming from this oil. I hope it's not toxic.
I mean, yeah, sure, keep breathing it in.
I hope it's not toxic.
That's gonna be hugely helpful. What about this side? Wait, am I actually swimming with one hand and holding the lighter in the other one? That's so stupid. Whoa. Yep. We did. We did? We did. Nice. Whoa, the delusional investigator. What was that? Be the plaything of an hallucination. Of an hallucination. Did you miss much? I don't know, not really. I managed to solve the winch puzzle thing. But that's about it. Also, apparently we're not dead. Kind of wondering though, did that do anything? Ah, sanity, there we go. The submerged city. While investigating the Hawkins warehouse, Pierce entered a partly submerged tunnel that ran under the docks. There, something took hold of his arm and tried to drag him beneath the surface. Drowning, the detective caught glimpses of human and animal bodies, as well as an underground city. Pierce managed to make it back to the surface to discover that rather than tentacles, it was seaweed that had wrapped itself around his arm. Okay.
This is primitive.
Okay, I assume this is what leads back to the surface, I guess. Back to the actual warehouse. Is probably like a way to bypass the guards, right? I'm kind of wondering how much I'm missing though here with not having a lot of points in occult and what's it called? Medicine. So it kind of feels like I should maybe have leveled those instead of all the other ones. Because as far as the game tells it, medicine and occultism only go up the more you find items in the game world. Like that medicine book that we found. Parts 1 and 2. So yeah, I'm just going to head out the way I came in, because I want to check out the other options. But we made it down the shaft that had like the winch. Down to here. Also, someone did not do a very good job with the geometry here. I can see a seam. For shame. But yeah, we solved the puzzle here and went down there. So now I'm just gonna head back and see what other options I can check. So harsh. What was harsh? I'm not harsh, am I? So yeah, I mainly want to see if like the seam. Okay, fair enough. I mainly want to see if like lean on actually means to bribe or
What's with you wandering around here like a hungry dog?
blackmail in
Saw
this
you talking
game.
to the two soaks. Go die of thirst, the lot of you. It'll stink less.
I've got proof that you're stealing from your boss, so it was blackmail. Yes.
I've got to enter the Hawkins warehouse. I guess it's going to be complicated.
No, it's very simple, in fact. Fuck off.
Thanks.
I don't give a damn about your racket. I just want to get into this warehouse.
And we don't give a damn about you. Whatever your reason for wanting inside, there's nothing we can do for you.
I went to see the statue of St. Brendan.
What makes you think we did it?
We're bootleggers, not savages.
I didn't ask.
Who do you think defaced the statue?
What do I know? They could have done it by themselves.
The sailors.
Who else, in your opinion? And who's interested?
So, who are you?
Are you stupid or are you doing it on purpose?
Totally on
Everybody knows
purpose.
us on Darkwater.
I've just arrived.
Let's just say we're standing guard for the owner of the site. And we let no one enter her property.
You can't use let's just say and then describe exactly what you're doing. Seriously.
Cat. She's your boss.
What? You
Like,
listen to
let's
Keyhole.
just say is a euphemism.
The boss, yeah.
You can't use
She
it
says
to say the
who's in
literal
or
thing
not.
that you meant.
Shut up, you dummy. You wanted to know that you also talk too much.
She
You
must be quite
dummy.
intimidating if she can make two men like you tremble.
She redid the smile at the last one who wanted to get in.
I hope he had a good dentist.
No, you don't understand. She really cut him a new smile.
But he
Yeah.
only smiles with the left cheek.
She sounds frightening, your boss.
And she doesn't like to be talked about behind her back.
Okay.
What are you guarding exactly?
Listen, bonehead.
Let's do some
What will
blackmailing.
Kat say when she finds out that it's you who are filching stock?
You've got no proof.
That's true. Apart from this little note. from your
How did we know it was like these guys that wrote the note?
I couldn't know that someone was gonna force the lock.
How do these guys know that I forced the lock?
So, what is it you want?
To get into the
How does
Hawkins
anyone know
warehouse.
anything in this game?
That's all.
Just like pick it up out of
Go
the air
on.
like osmosis or something?
I want to see your rat snout again.
Really? Can I also get the sailors to attack them?
Well, look who's back.
Did you miss us?
Yes. Where's my gun? I'm not gonna miss you again.
That statue represents your local saint.
What do you mean by local, exactly?
You wouldn't be looking down at us like all townspeople do.
St.
Jeez.
Brendan. He protected whalers and fishermen like us.
Amazing that they won.
Till
Yeah, I
those
mean,
assholes defaced
some
it.
anachronisms might be
That
around.
statue represents your local saint.
What do you mean?
Oh yeah,
by
Happy Women's Day, I
local,
guess, today.
exactly?
Well, it's
You
like
wouldn't be
only half an
looking
hour
down
before
at
the
us
day
like
ends.
all townspeople do.
Saint Attila.
Peculiar house.
Yeah, that's where we live. Our boat.
It's not because it doesn't float anymore that we're going to abandon it.
This sentence doesn't make sense.
Isn't it a bit early for alcohol?
We got
Too harsh for
nothing
you?
better to do anyway.
Yeah, I mean,
There's
fair
not
enough.
much work around here.
Fitzroy gives us a few chores every now and again, but since the whaling station shut down, ain't a lot of jobs left around here.
So we
Hmm.
drink.
The two guys behind you. What are they guarding?
The bootleggers. Scum.
They're protecting their territory. From whom, I wonder?
They really don't have a choice anyway. They're more scared of Cat than an attack by drunken sailors.
If only they would kill each other.
It's kind of like awfully self-aware of them.
Is it Cat who's shaking down Captain Fitzroy?
Hold on just a minute. We didn't tell you a thing.
Nothing at all.
I'm actually getting dizzy watching them go back and forth like that. Jeez.
I have an offer that could interest you.
We're listening.
I need you to keep them busy for a while.
You send us to take the punishment while you go quietly about your business. What's in it for us?
What would convince you to help me?
There's only one thing that'll
Booze.
get us to move.
It's gonna be booze.
For sure. Bring us something
See?
to drink
I
and
knew
we'll
it.
take care of the bootleggers.
Look what I've got.
You're a good guy, you.
No prohibition for dark water. What's that? Deliver liquor to the sailors. So wait. They didn't take it with them?
Hey, where are you going?
I hope for your sake that I didn't hear.
No, it's not what you think. It's just that you shouldn't hide your hooch in a fisherman's hut.
You got it coming. What? You
Okay.
helped yourself from my stock?
He's stewed to the gills. You'll get nothing out of him.
I'm not interested in a chat. I want to tan his hide.
Wow, I'm like such a jerk. I did all three paths, I guess. All three solutions. That kind of ended screwing up the sailor guy. Oh boy. I'm the good guy apparently in this game. So yeah, there's this kind of... Oh, this is where we came out from the greenish tunnel thing.
Let's see.
Damn it, failed.
Shoot. I'll have to find another way to get in. It's no use. The padlock won't give.
You only get one chance. Sucks. But yeah, I think this is like the...
Well. A little mouse has got lost on our turf.
Jesus.
You're not only inquisitive, you're also stupid.
I'm
What
gonna
gave
die.
you the crazy idea to come onto my turf?
Don't say anything. Okay. That was helpful.
Has the cat got your tongue?
You've come for a fight. What I've got to say won't change a thing.
Whoa.
You're a quick learner. I decide who comes in and who stays out. And anyone who doesn't respect my rules, I punish them.
Is your name Cat?
What of it?
Maybe we can come to an understanding.
Maybe. Or maybe not.
Really?
Get this joker out of here. He might have a little trouble walking on his own.
And my what? Oh. It's okay. Don't
I'm
worry.
getting careless.
I'm okay now.
I didn't see that coming. If I want to get into this warehouse, I'm going to have to deal with her.
No.
So hold on. If we hadn't failed the lockpick thing, would that stuff not have happened?
It was just a little joke.
You again. I told you to beat it.
No,
need
she
to
didn't
get
stab me.
worked
She just
up.
kicked me in the privates.
He's gonna get us into trouble. You can't understand. You're not sailors.
Oh, this is kind of nice though. The whale has kind of moved a bit further into the water.
Don't put that beast back in the
It's
water.
kind of nice, I guess.
We're no longer at home on our own island.
Whoa. Is that why your accent is so weird?
You're back again. What can I do for you?
Yeah, I'm back again.
Apparently, the bootleggers don't want anyone hanging around the warehouses.
They're part of the private property I mentioned earlier.
And yet the place looks abandoned. Why guard the entrance?
They're bootlegger. What do you mean?
I suppose.
Why?
All the warehouses are more or less interconnected by old sewers.
You mean that there's a way to go from one to the other by tunnel?
I couldn't tell you if it's still the case today for all the warehouses on the island, but I think I can imagine what you've got in mind. You can always visit them if you're not the claustrophobic type.
Gee, thanks. That's supposed to be kind of like a hint to go look for that. So, I kind of like how the game deals with these things. So now I like have the option of speaking with her to get access, or just go and look for the spot hidden checks in the adjacent warehouse, which I already did anyway. So it's kind of cool. I like that you have multiple paths through a level. Although it kind of seems that you don't actually get rewarded for figuring these out. What's it called? Like, I don't know if the hallucination that I saw was supposed to be a penalty for using this way without having to go through cut. And you also don't get any CPs for completing paths as far as I can see. So I don't really think there's much point in looking for all the possible solutions to every case. I mean, see, that's where we kind of like messed up. Aside maybe from, I don't know, for achievements probably. Wait, what?
This place stinks.
Got it. Yay, we got another CP. Cool. Kat, age 24. Wow, she's young. Gang boss. Does it ever? I wonder if it ever explains how she became a gang boss at like an age this young. Boss of a gang of bootleggers, which seem to use Darkwater as a hideout. Kat always keeps an eye out for her territory. On her territory, the zone of an abandoned warehouse on the docks. Yeah, I mean that's slightly too unrealistic. I have the impression that all the men on Darkwater fear her. Even Mitchell, the owner of the stranded whale, is reluctant to talk about her. She uses Darkwater as a point of departure for her cargoes of whiskey, and she's slowly gnawing at Captain Fitzroy's territory.
What is the connection between this place and the Sarah Hawkins case?
Wait, what? To enter reconstruction, hold left and right mouse buttons. Is this what like the frosty things around the edges of the screen mean? I guess. Yep. It's kind of like bad vision or something.
What is this picture of Charles and Sarah Hawkins doing here?
Really? Whoa.
Is this one of Sarah Hawkins' paintings? It smells as bad as it looks. Who has enough money to buy painkillers, but stays in a place like this? What happened here?
So, am I succeeding in the checks if these outlines appear?
Le Petit Parisien. Who might keep a news clipping about Sarah Hawkins? Can't sleep. I know how that feels.
Okay. I guess we're done. New clue memorized. Hawkins warehouse. Okay. Let's see what the clue was. Officially unused since Charles Hawkins' death, this warehouse recently housed a clandestine resident. Clandestine, oh my god. Signs of life attest to the fact. The presence of bloodstained bandages must also be noted, probably removed from a wound, as well as pills, painkillers and sleeping pills. Moreover, the occupants seem to be obsessed with Sarah Hawkins, as attested by the presence of several documents connected to the artist's life. But it is the discovery of a partly charred painting recognized by Officer Bradley as having come from the Hawkins mansion that allows all doubts to be lifted as to the link between the contents of this building and the Hawkins case. Wow, awkward. Writing is awkward. Very awkward. And how do we know it was recognized by Officer Bradley? Someone survived the fire? Kind of want to say that Sarah Hawkins isn't dead, but you know, again, I'm just like guessing here.
Someone has settled in here.
And whoever it is has something to tell me about the Hawkins case.
Well.
Is there anyone in there?
Nope.
You, don't move.
No one's here.
Detective Pierce.
No
I
one's
told you
here.
to stay away from this warehouse.
Let's team up. Let's try psychology.
You seem like a competent officer. We should help each other.
It failed.
You're trying to manipulate me, Mr. Pierce. I hate to be taken for a fool.
You die.
All right, Inspector Lestrade. Let me take a more direct approach. Can you explain what this painting is doing here?
This strange portrait. Wait, I know it.
Wait,
It was in the
comma, I
Hawkins
know it.
mansion when we came to investigate the fire.
So you confirm that it was removed from the crime scene? Interesting.
I tricked you.
I'd like to go and see the mansion now.
Of course. You want to go back along his trail? I'd like to understand how this painting made it to here. Come on. My car's parked down the way. Andrews, would you please shut the door? And open your eyes, damn it. This guy went right under your nose.
Well, technically no.
Her again. This case has nothing to do with you, Baker. Clear the passage or I'll shut you up for obstruction.
Officer Bradley, you've finally grown a pair. Too bad you're too fat to see them down there.
Really?
Why you?
Come on, keep the smile. You don't want to force me to widen it.
Okay, I get it.
Really?
Can we go to the mansion now?
I thought I'd straightened you out, mister. I am disappointed, but we'll meet again.
Is it far, this mansion?
Look behind you, at the top of the ridge. You see the building?
It's like what, Dracula's mansion or something?
Come on, we got some driving to do.
This looks like something that would come out of Castlevania or something. Pierce managed to get into the warehouse. The place, thought to be abandoned, revealed some surprises. Signs of recent occupation as well as a partly charred painting. Interrupted in his searching by Officer Bradley, Pierce convinced him to join his investigation. I didn't think I convinced him or anything, but the police officer is willing to drive the detective to the Hawkins mansion. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I failed the check there. What the hell? I know the game has to find a way to continue somehow, but come on. Sure has a nasty scar, yeah.
Well, here we are. Hawkins Mansion.
This is totally not a spooky house. Mm.
The place has been abandoned since the fire. There's only old Winchester in his hut.
What a nice place. Very friendly, right?
I see no scorched trees or fire damage on the building.
You're pretty damn observant, ain't you?
Yep.
The fire was quickly contained. Old Silas acted as soon as he could.
Not soon enough to save the Hawkins.
They were trapped in the drawing room. And don't go troubling Silas anymore. His guilt torments him enough as it is. Are we gonna take a closer look at this mansion, or do you have other questions?
I have other questions. Screw you.
You're the one who looked after the Hawkins case.
Don't think I was trying to hide it. It's just that this discovery shakes my convictions.
Shakes my convictions,
That's why
really?
you're so keen to find out who removed the painting from the mansion.
Yes. If something escaped us, or if there's been a law enforcement error.
Law
then it's up to the
enforcement
police
error?
to make
Yeah,
good its
that's
mistake.
what they call it.
Anything else?
Misconduct of justice. Law enforcement error.
He's clearly not doing any gardening.
You know, Silas Winchester has been working for the Hawkins family as far back as I can remember. Charles was like a son to him. The day of the fire, he lost his whole family, so he's got nowhere to go. And, as you'll see, in a way, he's still watching over them. Is there anything else you want to ask me?
Oh my god, stop asking me if I have any more questions to ask you.
It's a very old building, you know? Its foundations would probably date from the arrival of the first settlers.
It's got nothing to do with Charles Hawkins' debts.
Ha! You've already begun to nose around it, would seem.
Yeah,
So, since you already know it,
Whoa.
the Hawkins family couldn't afford
I'm
the
sleepy.
upkeep of this house. It remains to be seen what they did with all their money. I wager it was Charles Hawkins' travels.
Ooh.
Let's go up there. Unless you still have questions.
Unless you still have questions. Well,
I prefer to be prepared if there's going to be trouble.
well, funny you should mention.
But apart from old Silas and some rotten floorboards, there's nothing to worry about.
Could he be a problem?
Strictly speaking, he ain't dangerous. But since the tragedy, he's been a little touched. Though he's a remarkably sturdy man, given his age. A true force of nature.
A sad old man.
Go to bed if I'm sleepy. Yeah, I am anyway. I'm just like waiting
you
for the
don't wanna
dialogue
listen to my advice, we might
to
as well
end.
go.
I kind of started like a half an hour later today, unfortunately. I really wanted to go for like the full 3 hours, but you know.
Night falls quickly.
Tomorrow, I'm like.
And I want to be able to see when we
I'm fairly interested in this game, if not as invested as I maybe should have been.
Why not? You can help.
Right. Let's go.
Okay, game saved. So, yeah, bedtime for me. Let's see if we can raid someone. See who's online. Who is online? Despite from the obvious fails. Yeah, I mean, I do wish I was like slightly more invested in the whole thing. Although I'm starting to get a lot of ideas about what's going on generally. But you know, aside from that, it still looks like an interesting game. Let's go raid Raiken tonight. He's doing XCOM 2 Iron Man mode, really? Huh. Fair enough. So, let's go say hi there. I will probably be online tomorrow with more of the same. No guarantees due to work being a bit, weird. But yeah, I'll give it a try and see what goes on in Call of Cthulhu. But yeah, have a very pleasant evening, everyone. Thanks for dropping by. And thank you to Sister Morphine for, sticking around for the entire duration. And everyone else that's in chat and hasn't really said much. Yeah, let's do the raid and good night.
Need me to do this shit.